Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is 7:02, and I am calling the meeting to order. Um, we thank you all for Joan should be here in just a minute. David and Krista. Krista's stuck in traffic. David is away, so Krista doesn't think she's going to make it on time, and David won't be with us this evening. But Joan should be here in a minute. Start.
We don't have a quorum?
I didn't say that. We did.
Well, you don't say that, and then you don't have to deny it later.
Let's see.
That's actually true, I think.
One, two, three. We don't have a quorum. So until Joan gets here, we need five.
It's nice to see you, Barbara.
Hi, Jim. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Lynn. I didn't get to say hi to Lynn. Hi, Lynn. And
Hi,
hi,
Jim.
Chris. And hi, any man.
Yeah,
I don't know your name.
that's
What's
April.
that?
That's April 9th. So we have a couple of guests with us this evening. We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay.
I was hoping we were getting a new member. Not gonna have. Okay. All right. What did I try?
I just sent Joan a text message. Hopefully she can be on. And if she can't, then we will hear the presentations. Oops, she said sorry. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll give her a minute to come on and then we'll start the roll call. And Chris and
I
April,
want to read your name, April. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you.
um, so Chris and April, the reason why we go live is because it's broadcast on YouTube. And if we don't come on at 7, people will think that we're not meeting. So, and to, alleviate any confusion, we go ahead and start. Normally everybody is here, but tonight is one of those nights. World's a crazy place right now, so.
Makes sense. Yeah, Jim, I didn't have my full name. I should have had the full name.
I know her, but I'm pretty sure. Are you here in your official capacity, or are you representing the proposal?
Jim, can you give us a minute and let us start the meeting and then we'll do all of that, explain all of it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Joan's here, yay. All righty, so it is 7:06 and we're calling the meeting to order. Let me do the roll call while Joan gets herself set up. Jim.
Here.
Barbara Torian.
Here.
Cynthia.
Present.
Cynthia Carson. Here. Cynthia, can you hear us?
Present.
Okay. Joan Brady. And Krista Rich and David Arthur are not present this evening. But I am Lynn Farrow and I am here. So that's the roll call. I will accept a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda. I just want to make one comment. It's a long agenda.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Lynn, I'll second Jim's motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any no's? Thank you. The agenda is approved. I just dropped the minutes in the Google Drive just a few minutes ago. So I'll give you all a minute or two to look at that while we're doing the introductions, since you all know each other. So we have a couple of special guests with us this evening. April Nyman from the Arts Council, Anne Arundel County Arts Council, is here. April is going to be doing some consulting with the commission to help us with some procedural items. And we are delighted to have her. And as the commissioners all know, we plan to meet with her on March 22nd. And I have requested space at the Pip Moyer Rec Center, but we'll make sure that we promote the location on our social media and on the city's calendar. So if there are people who are listening in and want to attend that meeting, because that meeting will happen in person on Saturday, March 22nd, beginning at 9 a.m. April, you wanna just say a few words about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm the president and CEO of the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County, and I've been in my position for 18 years and love every part of the arts in our area. Most of our granting does go to the city of Annapolis, and we're proud to support all the arts and artists in the area. And I look forward to working with the commission.
Thank you so much. Okay, and then we have Chris Jakubiak with us, who is the Director of Planning and Zoning for the city, and the City Council is considering moving art in public places from the Department of Recreation and Parks to Planning and Zoning. So we welcome you, Chris. You want to say a couple words about yourself? Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, everybody. Good evening. So the Planning and Zoning Department provides technical and staff support to commissions throughout the city, throughout many functional areas. And we've gotten pretty good at it, I think. And we hope that we can provide if the City Council, approves the ordinance that they have to adopt to change the staffing from the Department of Public Works or Parks and Rec to Planning and Zoning. We'd hope that we would be able to provide both technical and administrative support to you to support your decision making, to support the administrative task and the accounting that comes with the commission, and to provide all manner of support to move the commission's agenda forward and help formulate consensus and ideas and support. Public art and urban design or urban planning go hand in hand. It's a really nice combination, and our staff have spent careers thinking in 3 dimensions about space, and you only need to think about this Westgate Circle to think about the creation of a space that is now primed for public art. That was a result of planning and planning decisions that largely came out of our office many years ago. And so that's the type of work that we do. So this is a nice segue for our department, and we're all looking forward to providing staff support to the commission.
Thank you, Chris. So
Sure.
April, Chris will be with us throughout the entire meeting tonight, and they'll be on screen. So we welcome you, and we're glad you're here to observe us this evening. Okay, so let me let the commissioners introduce themselves. So Barbara, you're first on the screen, so I'll go to you first.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Welcome, April. Welcome, Chris. I'm Barbara Torian. I represent Ward 4 here in the Annapolis area. I've been on the commission since about 2015, and I'm just glad to have you guys join us, and especially about the Westgate Circle, which Lynn has tapped me to head the subcommittee. So thanks for coming.
All right, Joan. You're on mute.
Hi, I just want to say hello, and I'm just a fairly newcomer. I feel like I'm still new. I started in January of 2024. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming and bringing your expertise to our organization.
And Joan is the secretary of the commission. Cynthia.
Hello, good evening. Cynthia Cruzen here. I live at Hyde Park Drive in Annapolis. I'm the Ward 7 representative. And I've been on the Poet Laureate Selection Committee and longstanding City Dock Summer Concert Series coordinator. Actually started the program, seems like many years ago. So thank you for your expertise, and we really appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you, Cynthia. And you answered a question. I sent you an email or a text message earlier asking you a question. I think you just answered it for me, which is great. And Jim, last but not least.
Thank you. I was a businessman in Annapolis for almost 40 plus years, in the printing business on West Street. I was active in the Inner West Street Revitalization Action Plan group. I've been on several comprehensive plans, 3 actually, and I've also worked with the Transit Board as chair. I've been chair of Greenscape, and I have done an awful lot of civic activity, a lot of it arranged around West Street. I helped found the Arts District, Annapolis Arts District, which runs from Russell Street to Calvert Street or Cathedral Street. And I was a founding member of the Inner West Street Association. And before all of that, I was active in environment as president of the Severn River Association and a member of the board of the Severn River Land Trust, which became the Scenic Rivers Land Trust while I was on it. And my big interest is in completing the streetscape of West Street, and I consider the Circle a very important project and one that we need really high quality and possibly expensive art, because it's going to be difficult to put something there that will work with traffic, the difficulty of accessing the Circle, and a number of other issues which the committees hopefully will resolve. Hopefully I'll someday get on that committee. Anyway, thank you very much. Good luck to everyone. And especially nice to see you, April, and Chris. Good luck, buddy.
All righty. Thank you, Jim. All right. So, April, Chris, and I have met, so they know me. April's known me for many years. So, she's known me since I guess when I worked for the city the first time as the grants coordinator. And at that time, I also served on the board of Maryland Hall. So I think that's probably when we met. Alrighty, so we have presentations from 2 groups this evening. And as Jim says, we have a long agenda. I'm going to ask that if you're not speaking, that you please mute yourself. And we're going to call forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Joan, you have something to share with everyone.
Thank you. This is my first official session as secretary, and I would love to begin the meeting with a meeting agreement. I'd like to quickly, I don't know if I could screen share or not. I'm a little discombobulated here, but I could read it to you quickly for tonight. I was just hoping that this will facilitate a very fluid, efficient meeting. So I'll just quickly run through with a list of 11, hopefully smooth points. So number one, respect time to ensure a productive meeting. Let's be mindful of everyone's time. So I'm going to do my best to remind people if they go over 3 minutes. Number two, be present, give your full attention to the meeting, and if possible, please turn on your camera. That's if you're not on the phone. Three, respect all opinions and please listen actively and provide constructive feedback. And if you need to disagree, which is absolutely welcome, please do that respectfully and be open to differing views. Take turns speaking, that's number four. I'm going to try to help Lynn. If I see a hand raised, I'm going to try to notify her, but I don't know if I have full view of all the participants. So I'll do my best on that. Don't panic, we will get to you, or Lynn will get to you. Number five, please stay on the topic, stick to the agenda as it's long. Number six, be prepared. Please review your materials beforehand. Oops, we can't do that because here we are. Number seven, when you're not speaking, please stay muted, as Lynn already asked for that. Focus on solutions. Let's collaborate and be solution oriented. If you have an issue, think about a way we can address it together, because we all have the same goal here, to make Annapolis more beautiful. And please use inclusive language and just be mindful of and using respectful language and the tone to others. And number 10, please clarify actions and accountability. That means Lynn did this at the last meeting, which was really helpful. So before we finish, we'll make sure that action items are clear and assigned. And then we'll have a respectful closing by recapping the key points. So thanks very much for listening to that. This is just the introductory. I'll try to put that, I'll have Lynn maybe share it so that we can conduct our meetings really efficiently. And I will now mute myself. Thank you so much.
Jim, you have your hand up.
We didn't approve the minutes, and there's one correction that I'd like to make.
Okay, already. So I will thank you. Everyone has had an opportunity to review the minutes now.
Would you like to do it next meeting? We could approve them in a meeting late, I think.
We could, but
and I'll send you the corrections.
I think we can approve them now.
Okay.
So we have a motion to approve the minutes with Jim's correction. Jim, what is your correction?
Under murals committee, I reviewed three murals and reported to the commission, put possible action. One at the Navy Wall, one on the Harbor Master's house, and one in front of Fleet Reserve. The Fleet Reserve one, I cannot get a hold of the artist, but I'm pursuing that another way.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Jim, will you send me that detailed information, please?
Yes.
Or you could feel free to amend the minutes online on the Google Drive. I'd really welcome that.
I'll send you the amendments.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'll get that in there.
I will also remind you that our minutes are required only to show the actions. And so the city asked that we only include action items in our minutes. So many times that kind of detail, Jim, does not get recorded in the minutes. But I will, Jim, are you making a motion to?
I'm making a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thanks, Barbara. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to second that, Lynn.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded to accept our minutes. of the January 28th meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is there any, are there any no's? Okay, thank you. Then the minutes are accepted. Thank you. And thank you for the reminder, Jim. Alrighty, so we have presentations from two groups, the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County and the Annapolis Film Festival. So Madeline, I would ask that you bring Tricia Sanborn forward from the Arts Council.
She should be on in just a second.
Tricia, if you can turn your camera on, that would be great.
Okay, there we go. Hi, everybody. I think I know many of you, but for those of you I haven't met before, I am the Chief Operating Officer of the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County. I work very closely, kind of as April's right hand. As you probably, Madeline, can you turn on the PowerPoint?
Yep, just give me 1 second.
Okay, great. Sorry, I want to share that with everybody. Okay.
Looks good.
Okay, looks good. Thank you very much. Tonight we are here to talk about the Utility Traffic Box Art Wrap program that you heard a little bit about last time on your meeting. And we're going to discuss the grant that we made to the Arts and Public Places Commission. Next slide, please. Matt? Thanks. I don't think I need to tell you all how much public art brings to the county and to the city of Annapolis. Facilitating the development of public art projects throughout the county is an important part of our mission. Next slide, please. Here you see a little bit of background on what we have done around the county over the last couple of years. You'll see the couple of murals, one you know very well in downtown Annapolis, as well as the Parole Health Center mural that we actually worked with AIPPC on last year, as well as the mosaic up at the new Severn Center and the Rails to Trails sculpture that was installed this summer in Glen Burnie. Next slide, please. Now we're trying to bring public art out into the community. And one of our major ideas at this point in time is to develop an art wrap box program. Sustainable programs like this have been created across the country. They provide income for artists and they make a beautiful item out of what is often a target for vandalism and or graffiti. Next slide, please. Here are some examples from different programs around the country. I know in the previous session they had asked to see some. These are just a few, but they're as creative as the artists in our community, truly. Next slide, please. Wrapping utility boxes with art will beautify neighborhoods. It'll bring art out into community areas that often don't have access to art. It'll help to foster neighborhood pride, spark conversation, and really turn these everyday structures into creative landmarks and promote community dialogue. Next slide, please. This is really an overview of the process. We will develop a database of art that fits on specific templates, and artists can submit either new or existing designs. So this is a way for them to monetize artwork that they have already have completed. We'll host these designs in an online gallery. The community members for a specific area will be able to select the work for their box. This is then printed onto a patented 3M vinyl wrap that has an anti-graffiti coating and a 5-year warranty. Some of the successful programs, like the one over in Hyattsville that's been in existence for a little over a decade, says they have artwork that still looks good 10 years later. It's a much better solution than painting a box. The contractor will then install the wrap on the box, and at that point, we will pay the artist a stipend. And then we will add the artwork to a countywide public art wrap map. And Madeline, if you can move to the next slide. This is an example of one of those maps. It'll be housed on our website. It'll be kind of a public art trail. There will be Annapolis, and there will be other parts of the county on it as well. Can you go to the next slide, please? And I know, Jim, you had a couple of major questions during the January meeting. And looking at the per box cost, it's going to be somewhere about $16.50 to $25.50. We will absorb the overhead because that's mostly me, as well as our marketing people. So we're looking at, for the grant that we've asked for $10,000, we think we can do 5 to 7 boxes. And you're not the only organization we're asking for money for. We have grants out all over the county. We have Maryland State Arts Council. We've asked for grants in Hanover, Laurel. We're going to do the BWI area. And we've also got a commitment from Visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County to begin up in Glen Burnie. Next slide, please. Thank you all. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Sure.
Thank you. That is very nice. And in my travels around the country, I've seen these, especially in Colorado. They seem to be happy to decorate anything they can do with a wrap. The concerns that I have, I checked with BG&E. They don't have a policy on wrapping their boxes. Do you have will you get written approval from the owners of each of these boxes before you attempt to put art on them?
Absolutely. Just so you know, we have a full agreement with Anne Arundel County that we can wrap any of their boxes. And that will probably be enough to start. Because we're only talking about 5 to 7 boxes with this initial grant that we've made to you, we can do, I know that the county has boxes in Eastport. I know they have them along Bay Ridge. I know they have them in Parole and some other areas. Once we have commitments as to the areas that we want to focus on, then we will go after ownership before we do this. Yes.
And the boxes that we're going to be contributing to will be in the city of Annapolis?
They will be in the city of Annapolis.
Okay, because Parole and parts of Bay Ridge Avenue are not in the city of Annapolis. And will the cost of this cover the removal of the wraps as they decline in quality or as they age? Will that be handled by this grant?
At this point in time, we would not build money in for that because we're just starting the program, and we would be doing the removals probably a decade down the line.
But you would be responsible for that?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure on the answer of it. But once we have this program up and running and sustainable, we hope that we would be able to build money into the program like that.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Barbara, Cynthia, we lost Joan, but she's coming back. Oh, there she is. Okay. Barbara, you have your hand up. Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, hi, Tricia. I was just wondering, how are the artists being determined in terms of which artists and which utility, especially for the city? I mean, are we going to be doing that, or is that going to come from your group?
We'll do the initial call ourselves. We will put the available artwork into an online database using our submittable software. And then that would really be up to you how you wanted to do that. If you wanted to have you guys pick, you could go online and vote. Or if you wanted to spread a wider net, you could ask the actual neighborhood. And it could be done one of many ways. It could be done all online. It could be done at a community event where we show the options and the people get to vote on it. It's really going to be, it's kind of a flexible model. So, but we really want the community's input. We want it to be artwork that is for and of the community and really represents what they're all about.
Great, thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? No, I do. So I have a question. Based on what you just said, I would, the way that I understood your request was that it would be your project and you all would manage it. And that we give you the funding per box, but you would manage the
Sure.
box in the city as you do the ones throughout the county. And so you would manage the process and we would not manage the process.
Absolutely. We can do that. We can have the neighborhood vote and we can go to their event to get votes or however you want to work it.
But we don't have the capacity
Sure.
to manage the process. So if you are funded, we would ask that the project be your project.
Absolutely. But we just want to make sure that it's representative of the community, that they're picking their artwork.
Yes, and you can do that, obviously. Yes.
Yeah.
You have another question.
You're requesting $10,000 from the AIPPC.
Yes.
I just want to point out to the commission that that is 1/4 of our remaining money for the next 6 months.
Now is not the time for that discussion.
Okay, but it's part of our consideration.
It is, but we are not considering it at this point. We are just
Okay,
leaving the presentation.
I'm just pointing it out.
Alrighty, thank you, Trisha. Have a great evening.
Okay, thank you all.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
Bye.
Madeline, is Lee Anderson here?
I have someone whose screen name is Filmsters that I have been assuming is him. I'm promoting him now, and if it is, I'll change his name.
Alrighty, thanks, Trisha. Good night.
Thank you.
Lee, if you can hear me, I'm sending a prompt to your screen. If you accept it, you'll be able to turn your audio and video on. All right, he should be on in just a second.
Alrighty. Okay, Lee, take yourself off mute and we welcome you to make your presentation.
Can we
Thank
invite
you.
Patty too? She's been sitting in the waiting room.
Okay, if she's in the waiting room, we'll bring her. Madeline, can you bring her forward?
I'm sending
as
the
well?
prompt now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Patty. If you are able to turn your camera on, that would be great. Alrighty, the floor is yours, ladies.
Well, good evening. Thank you for inviting us to present tonight. We are here representing the Annapolis Film Festival, which is now in its 13th year. And we're coming to ask for specific support for our Free to the Public programs, which includes our Education Day, our Student Showcase, and a number of donated student passes and tickets for underserved people in the community. So, this is a large commitment that we always make each year, but being able to find support for it makes a big difference for us. Patty?
Yeah, the programming is really special for these young people that we bring in. They're not getting a chance to be exposed to anything like this in any of the things that they're doing in school. Every once in a while, they'll bring old films for them to see, but we bring in fresh, new films, and a lot of times we're bringing in directors or people attached to those films, and they're really being able to give these kids an opportunity to look way beyond themselves. And it's been incredibly effective. We've been working with the school system for 12 years. This will be our 13th year that we've brought exceptional things to the students. Our student showcase, which is also free to the public, these are student films from around the world, some of the best student films that we get. And so many young people who are interested in filmmaking and even just in seeing, just watching films because it exposes them to things that they're not aware of. It's a big popular situation, you know, and event at the Annapolis Film Festival. Then we do a lot of other things. We're giving away tickets all the time for our Black experience. We give them to all the churches in town for a certain number of people to be able to come. When we do have Latinx, sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't, depending on the films. We provide that. And we provide special screenings from time to time also, and some of them are free. So depending on what the situation is. So we provide a lot for the community, and it's not just the 4 days of the festival. It can be throughout the year we expose them to certain things.
Am I able to share my screen? Am I able to share my screen by any chance?
You should be.
Okay. So for those of you I hope all of you have been to the festival, but I won't assume that you have. But it has had a tremendous impact on the community. It's something that reaches all ages, economic backgrounds, races, religions, and creeds. It's a very positive event, and it's an economic driver. It drives about $7 to $9 million through the local economy in 4 days. We know that through an impact study that the community college conducted of the festival, and that's from 2018. So hopefully it's still the same. It takes place over 4 days, and we're really growing in recognition and being able to be known for our amazing experience, the filmmakers we bring in, and also for the slate of films and just the impact in the community in general. We've had a number of well-known guests throughout the years, including people like Rob Reiner, Essa Pather Murkerson, Joanne Froggatt from Downton Abbey. We had the famed documentarian Albert Maysles. Last year we had Jennifer Esposito and Edie Falco in town. So it's definitely a cultural event that we try to bring to the city that is not a small event. It's a very large event. So, but we're really proud to offer these different experiences that Patty just mentioned. We've done special programs from the beginning. It's an ongoing commitment. We'd love to be able to continue these programs, which are, free to the public. These are sort of the overall costs of what it actually costs us to make these things happen, which includes the staffing and the licensing of the films and the venue and the projection and the staffing and the underwriting and the traveling in the guests and accommodating the guests for these experiences. This is a shot from last year that I love. This was the Education Day, and Patty, you want to explain how the studio got the actors and the director to be able to come for
the film was
Education
called Empire Waste, and it was about a lot of students that were kind of left out, had been bullied for different reasons in their lives, and they sort of formed a group together, and they found their own place, and they became powerful doing it. Well, all the actors came. The studio decided, wow, you're doing Education Day. You're making that happen with 720 students that are being bussed in from your county schools. We're going to send the acting team. We're going to send all the actors. So they got there, and the kids just went wild. It was very, very successful. And, you know, those kind of special moments, you just can't make those up. I mean, those you have to work to make them happen. And then they're remembered for life. I mean, we did it with King Richard too, with the Venus and Serena film that we brought in, the sister of Venus and Serena for the King Richard film and provided it free to our public in a separate situation. And then we provided it for our students as well. And these are the kinds of things that make a real difference in the community.
Well, and this film particularly dealt with bullying and, you know, not fitting in. So there was apparently the feedback was pretty tremendous from Maureen McMahon's
Right.
office. It had a great impact, and that's what we want to be able to do. But of course, it's not inexpensive to do it. We also discount passes. As Patty mentioned, we try to give away a lot of things for underserved populations. We allow as many young people and students as possible to attend our industry panels, which are cutting edge information on what's happening in the industry now. And also our coffee talks in the morning, which is an inside baseball look at Hollywood. That's a hosted conversation. It's very interactive with the audience. We also have something called the Shorts Challenge. This is not a free to the public, but we do give tickets to this for free to many, many young people. So Patty, you want to explain what the Shorts Challenge is?
Yeah, Short Challenge is a pitch competition where we get sent in from all over ideas. They're not films yet. They're just basically ideas. And they give us a pitch deck with the idea. And we choose 5 of the top ones. Some of them are students in film schools and in different schools. And some of them are, you know, 48-year-old filmmakers that have not had a chance to have their voice heard. So we select the 5 best ones. We bring them in. We have 4 or 5 judges up on the stage, and then we have the students each pitching their own idea. They do 3 minutes to the audience, and then they have to take questions, and they're grilled by the judges to defend their piece, to see if it actually is viable to make it. And then once that happens, the judges go off and they decide who's going to win. And Lee, tell them what they win. So
they win a production package from many of our vendor partners in Maryland. And this is also, we get support from the Maryland Film Office for this, but it's a pretty amazing package. They get a camera rental for a week, lighting package, sound design, and post-production sound and mix, and post-production online and color grading. So that's about a $30,000 free package that they get offered. And this year we're offering another company called Nolan AI, and it's a set of software that actually does AI planning, pre-production, script breakdowns, pitch decks. It does everything that just prepares the film in lightning speed. It's kind of amazing.
The winner
So-
of this will actually get to make their film. That's the key part.
Yeah, and then we premiere the film. If you're in the audience and you realize which one won, it comes back the following year and we play it and it premieres at the festival. So it's a very exciting way to launch a young filmmaker into their career.
I think it's important to know that a lot of the young people that are coming to some of these things, either through the high schools or through free tickets, this is a very popular field right now amongst young people. They're very interested in all aspects, not just filmmaking, but media in general. A lot of companies that are doing other things have media departments. Understanding this and understanding how to tell stories is a very big part of the learning experience of today's young people.
Yeah, and then I guess something that people don't realize is we also donate to a lot of other nonprofit organizations for their auctions and galas. We donate a lot of passes there as well. So this is sort of a rundown of all the costs of everything we mentioned. It shows last year's cash budget plus our in-kind support. So you can see that it's not an inexpensive venture to do a film festival. And, you know, we're just asking for support. We had originally asked for $5,000 more than last year, or $30,000. And we realized that apparently there's some financial challenges you guys have at the moment, but we would really ask that you would consider something that would make an impact on helping us continue to provide the free programs that we've been able to do in the past. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm sorry. Does thank you, Lee and Patty, for the presentation. We appreciate it. Are there any questions from commissioners? Does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand. Joan and I will keep an eye out. There are no questions. Oh, sorry. Cynthia, yes. Cynthia,
Yes, thanks for coming, and we appreciate your presentation. Do you have corporate sponsorship?
We do, but not enough, and very little corporate. Actually, over 65% of our festival is funded by individual donors.
Oh,
And
great.
people are always shocked to learn that about 10% of our revenues derive from pass and ticket sales.
And this
Wow.
is why it makes it so difficult every year. We have to start from scratch and start all over again and raise a lot of
Right.
money.
Right. Who are your corporate sponsors?
I can't think of, we have 2 Merrill Lynch's. You know, our largest corporate sponsor is $10,000.
Right.
Then we have about 10% of our funding is through grants. 10% is pass and ticket sales. You know, 65% is individual donors. So now we're up to 85%.
Philanthropists.
And then we have a few family trusts and foundational kinds of donations, but we don't have, that's one of our challenges. We do not have a lot of corporate sponsors. We just talked the casino the other day and it doesn't sound like that's happening. So there are a lot of places that sound like they'd be a good fit for this, but I can't even name a big corporate sponsor this year. Our lanyards are going to say Maryland State Arts Council.
Right.
So we don't have a big corporate sponsor. That's the answer.
We've been looking for one for a long time.
All righty. Thank you, ladies. Are there any
anyone send them our way, please?
Yes, I have a question.
Also, Jim had a question, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, ladies. My question is, you talk about, you sent us a sample of your website or a picture of your brochure, however you call it. And what was puzzling to me was, how does the public know which events are free, and how do they know how to reserve a seat at a free event?
So we have an outreach aspect to the festival that we reach out to organizations and ask if they want blocks of tickets to specific events that we can offer those tickets to. I mean, in the program, it says free to the public, and in all of our advertising and press releases, it does say free to the public.
And social media.
Really great to say free to the public, provided by Arts and Public Places Commission.
Well, my question is, how does somebody actually access a reservation to one of these events? And do you have a process that you do?
We have a box office.
Right.
And the free tickets would be available there?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And how much of this activity originates in Annapolis?
All of it.
All of it.
With artists in Anne Arundel County?
Oh, you mean filmmakers that are in the festival that are from Anne Arundel County?
Yeah, that's the creative side of what you're doing. That's the art part of your process.
Anne Arundel County is not exactly a bustling metropolis of filmmaking, to be honest with you.
But we have had
film culture here.
But let me just say, we have had some young filmmakers. Last year, our Shorts Challenge winner was from Annapolis. He doesn't live here now. He's working in his field, but he's grew up here, went to school here, did everything here, and he came back, pitched at our pitch competition, and won against everybody else. And the judges were from LA and New York and had nothing to do with Anne Arundel County, and they picked him. And he will be screening his film this year at the festival. And this year we have 2 of our Shorts Challenge students. One of them is from Annapolis, is from this area in this county, and the other one is from Washington, D.C. And then we have them from other places. But there's usually somebody locally that shows up in our Shorts Challenge that happens. And in our student free to the student films, we have Filmsters advanced class is if the film is good enough, is in our student film showcase. And all those students who worked on those films come to that and participate with their family and friends. It's their chance to be part of something special.
I hope that's a good answer.
Thank
Does
you.
that answer your question?
Well, yes, sort of. Yeah, it does. I mean,
Are
you
there
have
any-
you have a method of people being able to get a free ticket, and that's what was important to me, because if we're gonna pay for them, I want to make sure the public would have access to those free tickets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want full audiences for the filmmakers to have a great experience too.
And what we provide is like we would go, the certain churches know that we're going to give tickets and they give them to their, the people that come to the church. I mean, they give them out to people they know who want to go to the film festival. So certain organizations take care of that. The Boys and Girls Clubs have done that. I mean, we work with people to make sure that the tickets go to the people that should have them. And then when it's just open, like the student showcase, we advertise it everywhere that the student showcase is free to the public.
Thank you, ladies. Are there any other questions from commission members? Alrighty, thank you so much, Lee and Patty.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
The film festival, March
27th to the 30th. It's almost a month away, a little over.
It's going to be a good one. Lots of treats in there, guys. So come out and see it.
Good, awesome.
We just got our opening night film a couple days.
By any chance, share with us the opening night film?
Yes, we haven't announced it yet, but the opening night film was one of the biggest hits at Sundance this year. It's called The Ballad of Wallace Island, and it takes place on a little island off of Wales. And it's just a really charming film, and it's got music in it and all kinds of wonderful relationships. And I think it's a dramedy. It's part comedy, part drama. So we won't tell you too much else, but I think you can look it up. It's really a wonderful piece of work.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. And we will be in touch with you.
Wonderful.
But always, we will see you at the film festival for sure.
Good. See you at the movies, guys.
See you at the movies.
We love to movie with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to present.
We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All righty. Thank you. All right. I need to get back to Jen. Hang on. Give me a second, folks. I just need to. Okay. Alrighty. So we have, moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have 4 proposals to consider for initial review to determine whether or not we want to hear presentations from them next month. The proposals are all in the, we're all in the Google Drive. So everyone should have had an opportunity to review them. The first one is the Hospice Cup, which was submitted last month, and we thought that we couldn't see the application, but when I went back in, I could definitely see it. So that is a request for, let's see, the total estimate of for the display and exhibition is $2,700, $2,785.26, and they are asking us to fund the full amount of the display, so they're asking us for $2,785.26. And I will entertain a motion to hear a presentation from them next month. All right, hearing none, we will move to the next item, which is Annapolis Pride. And so So, two, um, the application from Annapolis Pride, I'm sure you all can pull it up on your own screens, but Annapolis Pride is asking for $15,000 to fund live performances, musical and others, children's theater on site at the Pride Festival this year. They also plan to on-site live paint, develop a painting media art piece reflective of this year's theme during the festival. And as I said, the request is for $15,000. I will entertain a motion to hear a presentation from them next month.
I would move to hear them.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Lynn.
Thank you, Barbara. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and do the roll call just to save time. So, Jim.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you.
Roll call. It's been properly moved and seconded. I'm calling for the vote now. So I'm doing a roll call. Okay, thank you. Joan. Okay. Yes. Oh, wait. You're on mute. No?
No.
Okay. Barbara.
Yes.
Cynthia.
No.
Okay. And I vote yes. So the motion carries. Alrighty. And the next one is a barn dance series. And so that's a new item. I don't know that we've ever funded this activity in Annapolis previously. Cynthia, is this something that we've ever seen before?
I didn't
Barbara?
catch the name.
It's called the Barn Dance Series. Barbara, do you recall it?
Lynn, to my knowledge, this is new to me too. I haven't seen this.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so they are asking Art in Public Places for $5,820. That would be $1,940 per event for a total budget of $5,820. They would have 3 afternoons of participatory dances with live music, dances from the Appalachian Mountains and New England folk traditions would be taught. It's accessible to all ages and would be done to live traditional Appalachian music.
Jim has his hand up.
Yeah, hang on though.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Joan. I'll entertain a motion to hear a presentation from them.
I would make a motion that we hear from them.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Joan. Jim, you have a question.
I just wanted to say that I know the artists, Leah Weiss and Gary Wright, who are musicians who perform frequently in Annapolis, 49 West and other concerts and whatever. The music is excellent, and the art farm is a real important venue now in the city for art instruction for kids and for adults. And they have a nice gallery and a nice facility over near Chinquapin Round Road. I would hope that this is an initial event for them, and I like us to sponsor new ideas in art and art of dancing, where they're going to teach dancing and have a good time. So it'll be an event. I don't think we'll, you know, do them more than a couple years. If it's a big success, it might be to our credit that we supported them. And I think we would know that after the first year. But I do know that the players, they are excellent. The music will be really good. They'll have other musicians, I believe. And the dance is fun. And it's for adults and kids. So, you know, we don't all do this dance or that type of dance. This is something unusual. So it'd be kind of fun.
Okay, Joan, you have a question.
So I'm looking forward to discussing that if we approve of the motion.
Thank you. So I'll do a roll call to get the vote. And so Jim,
Aye.
Barbara,
Aye.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Joan,
Aye.
and my vote is aye. Okay, so the motion carries. I'm so accustomed to taking minutes while I'm doing this, and I
It's so nice when she does that. It's great.
I just realized 2 seconds ago I don't have to do that anymore. But
I don't see
Cynthia,
how you're doing it. It's very difficult to participate and and take notes. Sorry.
I've gotten to the point where I can do it though. But Cynthia, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just want to raise a concern that Jim had mentioned a little bit earlier. We only have 44,000 in our budget for the remainder of the year. And we've already, we're really making financial promises we can't keep. If we have already spent the majority of our funds for the year, and we don't have any more funds until July 1st. So I am concerned that, with such a small amount in our balance right now, uh, we're getting people's hopes up. Since we don't have any caps on our funding grants, or how much we give out, perhaps we should really consider the Arts Council policy of having 2,500 to a maximum of 5,000. It's something we need to really discuss, but I am concerned about if Lynn, you mentioned about the summer concert series, and if you want to go forward with that for this summer, there would really be no funding to do that.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for that. We would never make promises that we couldn't keep. That's one thing I'll say. We would not make commitments if we were not able to keep them. So go ahead, Jim. You have a question.
Well, I appreciate that Cynthia is picked up on the money issue because it is a concern. Fortunately, the two that we would be approving are very small items. We haven't yet approved the two presenters, the Arts Council and the Film Festival. And in the case of the barn dance, we would be able to, well, this is their initial interview.
Yes,
We
Jim.
will have a formal interview at our next meeting. Is that correct?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
and
We might want to negotiate with them about a partial payment.
And at that time, we will not negotiate with them. At that time, we will make a decision on the amount.
That's what I mean. At that time, we'll make a decision, yes or no.
But
Or,
we will make the decision on the amount of the award.
okay.
Okay. So we have one more group, and that is the Inner West Street Association. Obviously, we normally do provide funding for First Sundays, and they are asking for $6,400 this year. The total budget for and last year we gave them $3,525. And I'm looking for the total budget. Hang on a second.
I don't know what their total budget is. but
No, I don't see the total. I don't see the total budget here, but their
It
request
says
is for,
$6,400. That's what they're
they're
asking.
saying that that's the total, but that doesn't make sense to me.
And I don't see the other part.
Right. So, but that's their request, and so I will entertain a motion to hear a presentation from them if you all are moved to do so. Inclined to do so. I should say. Barbara.
Thanks, Lynn. I move that we hear the Inner West Street proposal, and then maybe we can get some more details when they show up.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, hearing none. Alrighty, so there was no second. Thank you, everyone.
All
Great.
of this can be obviated if we spend it all on the first two.
That ends item number 7. We'll move now to the financial report. And I am going to share my screen. Okay.
I reviewed the report, Lynn. I commend you. It answered my questions for once. Because I'm a pain, I know.
Too, Jim.
Really,
I did that
really
last month too.
You were.
And this is really and truthfully, honestly, commissioners, this is the same report that I've presented in the past, but I just put boxes around it and sort of separated it out so it's a little bit easier to read. The only change in this report from last month's report is that the FY25 payments total $84,750. We also made the payment to the downtown, or it's been encumbered. They've submitted their invoice, and the check is we've submitted the request for the check for the downtown partnerships Great Pumpkin, the award we made to them for $4,900. So what the report shows is that we now have $48,305 available to award, and we have $100,000 reserved for the Westgate Circle project. We also currently have outstanding the funding for the balance for the Stuart White mural, $5,465. We are still holding the $20,000 for the Chambers Park concert series, and a commitment made to on a documentary film, Miss Peaches and Mr. Boo Boo, for $8,000. So what is left at this point is $48,305. Jim, you have a question.
Well, this report really reflects the biggest problem that we have as a commission. We often make a decision in 1 month and with the expectation that the applicant will get paid if we approve it in 30 days or 30 days from the point where they have their event. But we have not had a good record of timely payment. And in the case of Stuart White, for example, he contacted me recently by email and wondered where the rest of his payment is, because he needs to come back and do a little bit of touch-up work with the weeds and protecting the mural in the front area of it. So we have vendors who, or applicants, I don't know how you really describe them, but whichever way, who've applied. And as you can see, there is an appreciable amount of money that's late in being paid or has been postponed.
It's not late in being paid, Jim, and we have not received an invoice from Mr. White, nor have we received any information that his work is complete. We did pay him the deposit, and the remaining balance of his payment would come at the completion of the work, and he would need to submit an invoice to us for us to pay him. So there's a process, and the process is that the group submits to us an invoice. Along with their invoice, if they are not already a vendor of the city, then they have to submit a vendor application, a copy of their W-9, and they must be in good standing with the State Department of Assessments and Taxation. And that is not anything unusual from any other group, any other organization in the state of Maryland. If you are not in good standing with the Department of Assessments and Taxation, you are not able to receive public funds in the state of Maryland. So we are not delinquent. When we get invoices, we submit them right away for payment, and they are normally paid within 30 days. If there is a holdup, it is because we are waiting for something from the grantee. So I don't have an invoice from Mr. White. And is the work complete? That's the question. Because we gave him a deposit and we paid that.
May I speak?
Yeah, go right ahead.
My concern is that we use this argument a lot, and it's appropriate. I'm not arguing with you about it, Lynn. All I'm saying is that when we take in an application, we should provide a list, and we should provide the things that they need to fill in, such as the vendor application. We should provide a form that tells them that they need to have their W-9. We should provide a blank W-9. We should provide the things that we are going to require from them, or we need to notify them when they apply that these will be things that will be required in order to receive payment in a timely way. And I think it's a minor thing, but it's a significant thing that we don't tell them up front.
Thank you, Jim. And we have been doing that lately. So, but we also recognize that there is a great deal of work to do around our application process, and we are hoping to do that very soon. Joan. And hang on, Joan, just one more thing. Jim, we hear you. We're not ignoring you. We hear you. And hopefully on March 22nd, we'll be able to resolve some of these.
Thank you.
Already. Joan, go ahead.
And thank you, Jim. I think that's appropriate. And I was going to offer in any way that I could help to prepare a document that would accompany the application as to what's expected. What is expected if you would like to get timely payment. I have seen applications that actually require the 1099 as part of the application process. So I would be happy to work with you on that. If you would provide me with the information, or we could wait till after we have the March 22nd meeting, but I'd be happy to prepare that document for review if anybody.
May I make one last short comment?
I'm sorry. Hang on, Jim. Thank you, Joan. And we do plan to discuss this at the March 22nd meeting, and we welcome the additional help. Yes, Jim.
We should also, as soon as we have completed the vote to approve a grant, we should contact the person by email or in writing to let them know that they've been approved. And that's another opportunity to make sure that they know they have to get this documentation in, and maybe even put it in that package so that they can take care of it. I just think this is a process that we just need to tighten up. I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's just something that has to be tightened up.
Completely. Cynthia, you have your hand up.
Yes, back to the budget. I have two issues, and basically they deal with accountability. You see, we're expending a fair amount of money on the coordination of the art galleries and the exhibits and the art receptions. But we have no job description for that person who we're paying. And I've heard complaints from various artists that you know, they're not getting the support that they require, that they had gotten in the past, and that there's no coordination for the art reception at City Hall or at Pitt Moyer. So I think we need to draw up a job description for the role that we're expending funds on. Number two, it's been a while since we awarded the 8,000 startup fund for the startup funds for the film or the documentary. It's been, I believe, over 2 years, and at that time we did request that they you know, come back to us, give us an interim report, see the progress that they had made. We gave 8,000, you know, as startup funding to this group, but they had no previous experience in making a documentary. So I think we need to request them to return and, you know, give a presentation as to their progress, as to where the 8,000 was spent. I think that was part of the agreement when we voted to give them those startup funds. So those are two just accountability measures that we could sort of tighten up our budgeting, and you know, I think a good job description for the art gallery coordinator would be a good start.
Thank you. Cynthia, would you be willing to take a first draft of the job description, or at least to share with us a few bullet points that you feel should be included?
That used to be a task that was done in-house. In other words, a fellow commissioner, Elizabeth Ramirez, she handled that in-house as a commissioner, and it may be something we might want to return once we get a full board or full commissioners. It may be something that someone would be willing to take on, so that we don't need to expend those funds. So I think that might also be something we would consider.
So are you willing to help to write the job description?
I'll contact Joan and we could probably pull something together. But it definitely, I don't think giving out funds or monies to an individual in a coordinator role without having some directives of what the job entails is really good operating procedure.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. Barbara.
Thanks, Lynn. I just wanted to add on to what Cynthia was saying, because we've had, as she said in the past, questions about the exhibitions as well as the receptions. And just as the head of the Fine Arts Committee, you and I have had some discussions about the timeliness in which we get notifications so we get the word out. And I agree 100% with Cynthia that I think there's something that needs to be written out, whether it's a bullet form or something more formal about what the job actually entails, who they should report to, and in a timely manner so we can get it out to the public. Because as we know, most of these exhibits are up and people are like, well, where was the reception? It turns out the reception comes, 2 days after we've been notified. I mean, it's just undoable. And if we want more participation from the public, we need to be better about getting the word out. And unfortunately, if we're not having somebody who's coordinating this in a timely manner, it's not going to happen. So I agree with Cynthia, and I'd be willing, Cynthia, if you'd like to head that up as part of the Fine Arts Committee, that we can kind of take a look at something and write it up, and then we can bring it forward to the full committee, maybe even at the work session in the future. Thanks.
Thank you. So we will task that item to the Fine Arts Committee to at least begin to write a document. And I believe that there is a document somewhere. I will. Everybody has access to the Google Drive, but I will look on the Google Drive and see if I can find it. But Barbara, you're more than welcome to go onto the drive and see if you can find it. But I'm pretty sure I've seen a document.
Yeah, Elizabeth actually spreadsheet, which is helpful. And I think if we kind of use that format, like Jim said, it's more transparent, and we can see not only the artist, but also where it's located and how long the run is, so we can get that out on social media.
Thank you so much. Alrighty, so
Cynthia has her hand up as well.
Cynthia, is your hand up again, or is it left over from the last time? Thank you, Joe.
Yes, okay. This commission, as everyone knows, is an all-volunteer group, and we are lacking someone who can really do our social media, and we have not really gotten the cooperation of the public affair officers with the City of Annapolis, or with the Pitt Moyer Rec Center, getting the word out. So we really need, at our meeting or our workshop, our working session, to really strengthen. We are currently really lacking any ability to get the word out about the exhibits or other things that are other activities within the commission. So this is a real weak point that we need to strategize about.
Thank you, Cynthia. Alrighty, I'm going to move to committee reports, and if we could go through them pretty quickly, that would be great. Barbara, Fine Arts and the Westgate Circle project.
Yes, thanks, Lynn. Well, we already talked about the exhibits. I haven't heard from Audrey, so I have nothing to report in that sense. Jefferson Holland's out and about in Annapolis. If you all have seen him, in January, he presented the Chesapeake Bay in Story and Song at the Maritime Museum, and it was a sing-along, original Tall Tales, Pirates, Crabs. It was wonderful. I hope you all had a chance to see it. If not, hopefully he can come at our next meeting and kind of give us a wrap-up of what he's done in the last couple of months. Regarding the Westgate Circle Project Committee, as we discussed, Lynn, last month, you, David, and myself, that we were going to reach out to April, which is going to happen in March. And we're going to go from there and set up our subcommittee and our advisory group and get that project rolling. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, I know you had prepared a document for your report, but if is there action?
It's a lengthy report, and I think if the members of the commission will read it, we can get some background on the issues that are regarding murals and their deterioration around the city, and some of the principals in that information. Will be preparing a specific proposal in the very near future, but it is detailed, and I'm sorry it's 5 pages. I hate doing memos that are 5 pages, but I thought the history of these murals is important because many of them are aging. They're 18 or more years old, some of them, and they have problems and they need to be repaired. And it's our contractual duty to do that as the commission. So we have been good about setting aside funds, and I don't know what the status of those are. I know that we set aside, I thought it was $20,000 a year, but maybe it wasn't, but I'm not sure. But if it isn't, we probably need to think about doing that when we get our next budget, our next windfall. Or whatever it is, because there are many other projects that are beginning to fade, and we need to work on them. And I don't mean just murals.
Thank you, Jim. Alrighty. There is no report for public outreach. I will say that hang on just a second. I'm sorry. I have met with the group that's doing the strategic plan for the Arts District, and so eventually, I guess we can have them come give us some kind of an update or a report on that as well. But they are just beginning their work. Alrighty, so item number 10, Kate, I see you're here. Would you like to share an update from the mayor's office? Oh, Cynthia, I'm
I
sorry.
believe Cynthia has her.
Cynthia, you have your hand up.
Yeah, sorry to, I wanted to just ask if Jeff Holland has been paid his stipend. He put in all his paperwork.
Yes, he has been paid.
Excellent.
Okay, Kate.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I just want to say I don't think I have met everyone in person, but I think I've interacted with everyone online. So it's nice to see everybody tonight. And I'm here because Hillary is traveling. So she's not here to give the normal update. She'll be back in the office tomorrow. And we'll be back in touch with you all. So the first thing I wanted to give you an update on is to confirm that John Arison was confirmed as a member of AIPPC representing Ward 8 at not the council meeting we just had, but the one 2 weeks before. So that fills one of the 2 vacant positions. And Hillary and I are currently reviewing with the mayor some applications that we've had for the Ward 1 position. But we don't have any particular candidate yet. We're just looking through some applications we've received. So hopefully we will find someone to fill that vacancy soon. I also just wanted to acknowledge April and Chris. Thank you both so much for your engagement and partnership. April and Lynn, I want to thank you. You've been great reaching out and building that relationship. Great to have a date set in March. And I just want to thank you, April, again for your ongoing support in what will be an ongoing partnership as we move forward. And I just want to commend Lynn's leadership on this and her willingness to step up to take AIPPC to a new level as as you guys grapple with sort of the increased scrutiny and other things that come with the change in budget that you've had in the last couple of years. So thank you, Lynn. Thank you all for that. And thank you again for your partnership, April. Chris, thank you so much. We really feel that planning and zoning are going to have a lot to offer going forward. And just the last thing from me, second last thing from me is that an ordinance that will formalize the move from recreation and parks to planning and zoning will go before the council at their next meeting on March the 10th. And ordinances go through a whole raft of, a series of steps, as you know, and there will be public hearings on that and so on. So start on March the 10th, it'll be referred to committee. So no clear date for when that will happen, but it will be in train starting at the next council.
Hearing date, that's the introduction date. So there isn't an opportunity to speak that evening.
You can always speak at the public. Yeah, you can always speak at public here, at any public, the open section of the meeting. Formal public hearing for the ordinance change. It varies. It depends on how many refer to the committees, but it is probably likely to be at the following council meeting. But we don't know for sure yet. It does depend on the committee dates as well.
So, folks, we will be sure to watch out for that. I may not be able to be there on the 10th when the bill is introduced because I have a work commitment that evening. That's also the night that the executive nominations committee for the governor's appointments meets. So I may not make it over to City Hall in time, but I encourage other commission members to be present. I would say that that if there is something pressing that we must say before the bill is introduced, then speaking that night is worthwhile, but waiting until the hearing or until it's being considered by the committees is probably would be the best time to speak on the issue. Yes, Jim.
2 questions. Kate, I missed what you said. What is the bill about?
So the city code currently has a IPPC sitting under the Recreation and Parks Department.
Okay.
So for you guys to move over under planning and zoning, we need to change the city code. So we need to introduce an ordinance to do that. Yes, everyone is welcome to attend the meetings and to share views. Of course, we always encourage residents to come forward with their views as well. So looking forward to sort of seeing how that goes forward. But that process is fairly straightforward. The council has been informed and is fully aware and supportive of the change. And I think I just want to commend Chris. He's been very good at answering questions about how that will work. And I would encourage all of you guys to go to Chris with any questions about how that will work. Yes, as it goes forward.
One last question. With reference to the March 22nd meeting, will John Arison be invited to that meeting?
Jim, can we hold on that for just a moment until Kate has done her report?
Oh, that's fine, Lynn. I'm happy to answer the question. No problem.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your question.
Yeah, no, that's fine, Jim. John Arison is traveling at the moment. I forgot to add this. So
that wasn't the question. That wasn't the question, Kate. That wasn't his question. He was asking March 22nd meeting, and we're going to get to that when we get to old business. But thank you for that. I was going to ask, when will John be sworn in?
Okay, thanks, Lynn. So John is traveling at the moment. We haven't been able to schedule a swearing in date, so I can't tell you when that will be. I'm not exactly sure when he gets back, actually. So that's the last step we're waiting on, and I forgot to mention that. So thanks, Jim and Lynn, for teasing that out. We hope that he'll be sworn in and ready to attend the next meeting, but it will depend on travel dates and on his schedule too. So
thank you.
And then I'm sorry.
More thing?
Lastly, one more thing. The City Council asked to have a work session with you guys last year, if you recall, in December. And that wasn't able to be worked out with everyone's schedules. So several council members have expressed interest in trying to reschedule that. And I've suggested to them, just so you know what I've suggested, and I think just wanted to let you all know and get your thoughts, is that that might be good to do once you guys have gone a little bit further down the process with April, perhaps after March the 22nd. And I've suggested that they look at a time that might work better for your schedules. For example, we could look at an hour on a Monday before a council meeting between 6 and 7 p.m. So, we'll try to find something for that at a time that works for you guys. But they just wanted to let you know that council members are still interested in having that conversation.
Okay, that was not the discussion we had, but okay. But I would ask that they please allow us to work with April and with Chris to begin to put the new systems in place before they and we will share with them before we vote on those systems. But please to allow us to at least get a proposal of what we want to put in place before we're asked to meet with them. So, Kate, thank you for that. Alrighty. Any other questions of Kate? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Kate. Old business. Jim, you had a question about the March 22nd meeting.
Time, date, and place. Date we have.
The date we have is 9 to 12, 1 o'clock. And I have requested space at the Pitt Moyer Rec Center. I have not heard back from Rec and Parks yet, but Chris, maybe you can follow up with Roz and see if we can make that happen. If we are going to be there for 4 hours, then we'll make sure that you have some light refreshments to hold you over. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Thank you. And as soon as we have the location nailed down, we will we'll send out the official notice and make sure that the public is aware of where and when, because it will be open to them. They will be able to observe. Okay. It is not a public hearing. Is there any new business? Okay. All right. Oh, Joan.
I would like to go back to old business. I wanted to revive the discussion on the grants committee because I think it's pertinent to the mural committee that I would like to, if it becomes available again this year, it opens in September. There's a PAAM, Public Arts Across Maryland conservation grant that I think that is up to $30,000, and I would like to try to apply for that and be really ready for it. If it, it's closed now because the deadline has passed, but I just reviewed the last year's application process and it opens in September, closes in December. So if I could meet that one a lot earlier, maybe we could win some grant money to help us conserve our murals. And that's all I wanted to say on that.
Thank you. And Joan, with the additional support that we'll be getting from planning and zoning, Chris and I we did have a discussion about being able to set up that process. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of time to talk about that on the 22nd. The bulk of the time will go to April's presentation, but we'll have a few other things that we need to
Thank you.
do as well. And maybe Chris at that time can talk about how he sees his office supporting the commission. He's putting his thumb up. Good, great. Alrighty. Now, new business. Is there any new business? Alrighty. No new business? Alrighty. Joan, you want to review the action items? Are you prepared to do that? I know that we said that Barbara and Cynthia are going to look at the job description or the scope of work for the gallery exhibitions, and I committed to making sure that we have the location and that we advertise that for the March 22nd. Did I miss anything?
Just that I volunteered to prepare the document or work on the document with someone as to streamlining the application process.
Very good. Alrighty. Thank you. And Joan, connect with me because I have a bunch of stuff that I've been collecting.
Okay. Thank you.
And maybe well, we'll talk. We can talk about that. But I do have a bunch of stuff that I've been collecting. I will share it with you and April at the same time. And so that's it. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Aye.
Second.
Oh, aye. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't called the vote.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Noes. Are there any noes? Okay, hearing none. Thank you all. Have a nice evening. And we'll circle back and make sure that we are keeping our action items before us so that we are completing them or at least have good updates for our next meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. Thank you, Kate.